Let's do it. The final day of the LiuLi, the Lulu. I like the Lulu the most. We already had the Masters Coliseum in the month of January. The Masters Coliseum went to the man that has already won so many tournaments in his beautiful career. Who is going to win the Lulu Cup? We'll know in give or take 4 hours, hopefully, because, you know, we don't want to have a short day, right? For the 5th time in 2 weeks, we're going to kick things off with Serral versus MaxPax. We had to wait 14 months for these guys to play a series. Finally happened. MaxPax won. They played again a couple days later. MaxPax won. After that, they played 2 more times with an important best of 7 in the lower bracket. That one went to Serral. The most recent one went to Serral. And this is the 5th and final one. A best of 5 of best of 5s and a best of 7 in there. Who's going to win it? Let's find out.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go, once more. In the bottom left side of Amygdala, the man who took the 2-0 lead yesterday in the upper bracket final against Clem. Unfortunately could not close it out, and he's gonna open things up with a 16 pool. This is Serral. In the top right side, the man who took care of Reynor yesterday in the lower bracket with a 3-1 victory, lost one game to a 12 pool drone pool, did not scout in the first 3 games of that best of 5, but then he did start scouting. How is he playing today? We're about to find out. It is PSISTORM Gaming's MaxPax. I am certain that Serral was looking at those games, watching it closely, wondering how Reynor would do, his teammate, against the man that he already battled 4 times. And the man that he will be battling again today. And I'm sure that he also noticed what Reynor used a couple games in rather. And that is that Max has been skipping out on probe scouting very, very often in this matchup. Isn't that crazy, Roddy? I think it's kind of crazy. First 6 links on the way. I don't think 6 links, obviously from a later pool, is going to be good enough to like really kill Max here. But this can already become problematic. If you don't have any vision, if you don't know that it was pull first, if you're not ready for these links running to the other side of the map, this could be problematic. Roddy, will Tuesday be your first off-stream day for January? Honestly, I think at this point, Ian Blue, I'm gonna go all out in the entire month of January. We're gonna try to set some records. I'll be streaming on Tuesday, but it will be the first day in a while that we're not casting. I will refuse to cast anything. So Serral has his links here. Adapt is not out yet. Can the links kill the pylon before the adapt comes out? It is a big moment immediately, very early on. There is no chrono boost available. That is a weird pylon. Obviously, we're building that pylon to make sure that we can get this adapt out eventually. But this is already bad for Max. And especially because he built the pylon here. Because I don't think the probes all want to go there. Oh. Maxi Paxi, mate. When are we going to start scouting again? Because this is really hurting us. Oh my god, this is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Even if he only loses 1 or 2 workers here, and I think he might end up losing more than that. So far it's 1. There goes the second. This is a really bad start. Might even lose 3 workers. Oh, this no scouting live is not working out for the Prince of Denmark. And I'm sure some of you guys think, Roddy, isn't he just being stubborn now? Isn't this a bit silly to not scout so many games in a row? I agree. Probably the last time today that we'll not see him scout. I don't want to say it's game over, but it's a really bad start for Max. It is a really bad start. I find it so unnecessary as well. Like, I sometimes like not probe scouting against Terran because I really feel like it makes a bit of a difference with my build, and I feel like I'm a tiny bit richer. But against Zerg, in my mind, it's like you have to scout. You just have to scout. Because there are scenarios where you're straight up dead. Against Terran, I think if you don't scout, you're never straight up dead. You're definitely in trouble sometimes, and you can make life really hard on you. But I don't think if you go core before Nexus, and you chrono boost out your first Stalker or Adept, I don't think you're ever dead. Against Zerg, there are scenarios where you're dead. I know, Alamuta, they always are, mate. You're not new here. Don't be weird. Oh. The Oracle of MaxPax does find some good damage here, guys. That is 3 drones. That's not all that bad. Now, he definitely needs that. And then some, but that's alright. It's a lot of links, though, sneaking to the other side of the map. And with only 1 Adept, we are in trouble. This Adept cannot fight that many Zerglings. Both the oracles are all the way on the left side of the map. I think Serral is going to get a very easy cancel here on the third of Max. So not the way that MaxPax wanted to say. Look at Serral, he's even saving every single ling. What a gamer. What a gamer. Yeah, maybe Ryan. I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. I think at this point, we are going to see MaxPax scout throughout the series. Yesterday, he did not scout in the first 2 games. The third game, Reynor all-in'd him. And in game 4, he did scout. Maybe it's a Neo Max, and he just says, I am not scouting until somebody shows me that they want to do something about it. Serral didn't want to take all the risk of starting off with a 12 pool, even though if he would have gone 12 pool drone pool, this is obviously 100% over. I think even a regular 12 pool with nothing but link production would have been game over, but Serral didn't want to take the risk of maybe Max does scout and then he's stuck with a 12 pool opening. Serral's letting him know. This is not the way. How did Serral look yesterday versus Clem? I thought he looked really good in the beginning. And then, I mean, I wouldn't say it looked the same. The 3 games that Clem won, I don't think they looked the same as they did last summer during the Esports World Cup, but it started to look a little bit more like games from the past. Serral just played very sharp in the first 2. Great link movement, great run bys, found a lot of economic damage. He was just on point. The man from Finland, the Finnish Phenom, drops a Spire. As he's got 4 bases up and running now, 5th is on the way. He's going for +1 melee Zerglings. Serral, we obviously asked him about the Mutalisk in the interview. Serral said that he likes the 10 Mutalisk. He doesn't necessarily like all-out Muta, because he don't think that's really worth it, or it's a bit too risky. This might be a game, though, where he does kind of go all-out Muta. Serious prediction about the upcoming match. I think we all win, mate. If it's Serral, MaxPax, and Clem left, I think we all win. I find it really hard. I am not surprised if you guys are voting a little bit more for Serral than for Max, because that's what you guys did throughout all 4 series, and the score is 2-2 right now. Obviously, at this point, Serral's in a really good spot in game 1, so a Serral prediction would be the wise thing to predict. But I'm not discounting MaxiPaxi out. I love Max too much, and he has impressed me too much over the years to think that he's got no shot at winning this. You can say Serral's a minor favorite. That's my official prediction. Stasis Trappies are going to get activated. In this game, Serral is of course more than a minor favorite because a lot of things have gone his way. Now the fact that he goes Mutas though is a tiny bit risky. The Mutas, they could potentially be revealed early. They could not find what they're looking for. MaxPax then holds once or twice with some Archons, Cannons, Batteries, Blinky Boys. And obviously Max is completely back in this game. Serral has made just a 9 Mutalisk and he's now going back into Roach production. He's got Roach speed already. Is doing a really good job in taking away some vision of MaxPax. So MaxPax is going to see these Mutas even later. It's difficult. It is difficult, especially the main base is wide open. Max really doesn't have anything in the main to deal with the Muta. It's gonna be one of these old school EVPs where the Zerg is maxed out and the Swarm is coming. MaxPax supply blocked as well for a split second on a very painful moment. Couple storms land, couple of the lings get stuck in a stasis trappy. Roaches are gonna try to do their thing. Mutas are now gonna come back. They can get on top of the High Templars, and High Templars have to morph into Archons. It's just too much, right? It is just way too much. Jonas Satala here in game 1. And not even MaxPax. I think Micro is way out of this. Max does have 26 Stalkers. I don't really see them. I don't know where they are. They are somewhere. They obviously have to keep the natural safe. They have to keep the main base safe. Serral will say, alright, then we're going to take out this base at 3 o'clock. You're now back to being a 3-base Protoss. Is there a world where MaxPax can get a scary army on 3 bases with Stalkers, Archons, High Templar? I don't really see it. These traits are obviously perfectly fine for Serral, who's working with 5 bases. We can wait for +2. I don't even know what the correct choice is here. Max is not the kind of guy to leave early, but I don't think he even knows what to make of this. Do you turtle and try to max out and somehow try to survive? This is, by the way, a map where MaxPax has looked very good on in the past. Amygdala, I think, one of the stronger Protoss maps in this current map pool. Especially when it comes to the late game of PVZ. He did lose that mega long game recently. This is not gonna go his way. The storms are good. A lot of lings are falling, roaches are falling. But as long as Max is only on 3 bases, we're 11 minutes into a game of Legacy of the Void. That means that your main base is down to 4 mineral patches. Your natural will start running dry soon as well. MaxPax desperately needs a 4th base. The storms have been good. He's landed a couple of very big storms. Next time though, it's not just lings and roaches, it is 35 banelings as well. We're gonna drop a force field. Can we save the probes? I don't think that's good enough because the pylon can go down. And that means the banelings can still go in as well. So it is a couple of units and 17 probes. Ay, ay, ay. If you have storm, there's always hope. I want you to be right, sir, but I don't think you're right. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen my storms, mate, but my storms actually get a warning. Like, self-harm is not allowed on Twitch. And if you see me storm, people have reported me. But like, this man, this Protoss operator is doing bad things to his own units. I'm like, it wasn't on purpose, guys. I'm just bad. I had to explain myself once or twice to the Twitch police. So, storm is not always hopeful. Obviously, in the hands of Max, it's a little better, but still better than my oracles. I mean, everything is better than my oracles. Serral is having, I wouldn't say a tough time getting MaxPax out of the game. Because obviously if Max is just sitting on 3 bases, it is hard to run into Storm. Serral is playing it out very cautiously. He's got a sick economy, he's got great Aspire on the way. And he just makes sure that he can keep on finding some damage. It is just 2 little banelings that actually found good connections with a lot of these High Templars. That are all very low in HP right now, and all these High Templars go down. Once more, the storms were good, but losing 6-7 High Templars on only a 6 gas economy is... That's just not something you can ever keep up. That is just the way it is, guys. I mean, the army is... if you look at the army supply right now, that's the only thing you look at. You're going, 85 against 100. Storm? Is there a chance? It would be one of the most miraculous Protoss victories that I've seen in a while if MaxPax wins this. And honestly, if MaxPax does win this, I want Lambo to make a new video. I'm like, Lambo, stop being so reasonable. And just tell it how it is. Protoss is busto. Because Max should not win this game. And I think he knows that as well. But it is obviously lower bracket. It is Tournament Live on the line. We are deep into the LiuLi Cup. No one leaves early. Serral's doing also really good. He just wants to make sure that MaxPax doesn't actually max out. Because Serral can have 5 bases and MaxPax 3. But if MaxPax is actually able to max out on a scary army with Archons, Storms, High Templars, then the Protoss can always still win. So Serral has done a really good job in just battering down this army. Now this is actually a monstrous stasis trap. And just making sure that Max cannot easily move out. I don't know. The Broodlords are going to come online. Some people do not believe in the Broodlord. I think there is still a time and a place for the Broodlord. He's definitely not imbalanced by any stretch of the imagination, but it is really good against certain armies. And Lings with Adrenal Glands and +2 are really good. Banelings are really good. And this game has been won by Macro. Serral got MaxPax down to 3 bases and kept him there. It doesn't really matter what Max does. You look at the units lost resource tab and we can see that Serral has lost 5k more relatively early into this game. But it's alright. Bases run out of resources and Serral takes the 1-0 lead. I love you, Roddy, but no, Broodlords are always a bad choice. Well, you can argue with me, you can disagree with me, that's fine, but If you take a look at the last 15 to 20 games that Serral has played against Max, he ends up with Broodlords in almost all of them. So you don't want to take my word for it, that's fine. Serral seems to disagree with you. So you're not arguing with me, you're arguing with Serral. And that's up to you, but I personally would not try to argue with Serral about what is good and bad in ZVP. I was actually a part of, I don't know if this was on broadcast or not on broadcast, but there was a discussion between Reynor and Serral, where Reynor did say that Broodlords are absolute ass and are legitimately a joke and never good. And Serral disagreed with him. Serral like, ay, maybe for you. But Serral still believes in the Brood. Map 2 will be played on ley lines. Why Serral can't get a break for his clam? It's been so long now. Today could be his day, mate. Today could be his day. How the hell is AC Milan losing to Parma? No wonder they want to buy Jimenez. You can't buy if you cannot beat Parma at home. I understand you need a little finer impulse. Today is the finals, yes. Today we are wrapping everything up. That guy already has 3 timeouts. It's because Serral's skill is so much higher than the people he plays against. Even when units lose, the other players usually mess up. Yeah, that's right, mate. I'm sure that that's exactly what it is. You're right. I mean, Serral is a GOAT and everybody else is... They're not even on his level. I think we're getting a little carried away here, mate. What's the first place prize money? I think today for this one it's around 2,600. The one of Masters Colosseum was bigger. That was 6k. This is 2.6, 2.7. Alright, there is an issue with the party. You love me? I mean, that's fine, but you can love me all you want. Just don't troll too much. It's annoying. I can guarantee you that Serral is playing to the very best of his abilities, and that Serral also respects his opponents, so I'm sure that he would like it if you can do the same. Yeah, I love you, Uncle. You know what I love, by the way, Magneth? Is that yesterday I was hanging out in the Coco stream, like I do, per usual. And Magneth flexing his prime, supporting Queen Coco, and I'm all for this, by the way, guys. I too support Queen Coco. And Coco's like, Magneth, that's so nice. You could have used that prime anywhere. Like on this channel or that channel or on Roddy's second channel. Because he assumed that you would be a Roddy boy. But you're not. And I was like, oh, Coco, if you only know the half of it. This is not just like a secondary option for Magneth. This is the #1 priority. So I'm a little hurt, Magneth. I get it. I too would choose Coco over me. But now you're asking for my love, and now you're pushing it a little, huh? Let's go ahead and hop into game 2, guys. It was a little bit of a delay because the party system wasn't working. I don't know why they're so addicted to this party system anyway. Round 2, ley lines, and will we have a probe scout?
Round 2, fight!
I hate that you didn't mention your tier 3 sub to Pokimane. Honestly, I love Poki. Poki is awesome. If you tier 3 sub to her, I think that's a good thing for you, man. Don't think she truly needs it. I think she's fine without it, but seems like a great girl. You do you, Magneth. I'll never judge you. Top right side, guys. He's taking the 1-0 lead in the lower bracket final. The winner of this best of 5 will play a best of 7 against the one and only Liquid Clum. This is Basilisk Serral. Where's the channel point prediction for the probe scout? Well, we already have a probe in the natural, mate. The Prince of Denmark learns from his mistakes. Honestly, I don't even know where this whole no scouting phase came from. I'm sure he's got his reasons for it. I'd love to ask him once. I personally think it's a tiny bit silly, but here we are. Round 2, lower bracket final. PSISTORM Gaming's MaxPax. You're bad at math. You thought the game would start in 40 minutes. You were playing Deadlock. It's okay, mate. There's always a way to watch it back. And we should have A bunch of incredibly exciting hours ahead of us. The first game was fun, but in case you're wondering what you missed, MaxPax did not probe scout. Serral did a 12 pull, but he did go for a 16 or a 15 pull. Ran his links to the other side of the map, killed the pylon, no adapt. The MaxPax made a bit of a weird choice where he tried to build the pylon basically here. But yeah, then the links go back and they have full surface area and probes have to go through this little thingy. And that's even further away. Max was behind, stayed behind, was behind forever. Serral played it out well. Hello, Shung. Thank you, by the way, to my boy Pi for the 26 months, Tito with the 30, Dimash with the 6, and Varil with the 2. I appreciate you guys. A very fair start. 2 ley lines, game 2. MaxPax got a Stargate. What route is he going down? I don't know. I think it's a good double Oracle map. If MaxPax still wants to play triple Oracle, he's allowed because he's the best Protoss on the planet. If we go Void Ray into Oracle, we might do something a little bit cheeky. We'll keep an eye on it. I agree, Multi. I don't really get it. I do not really get it. But I think we can move past it. Loco's 72. I mean, Loco's not a young man anymore, mate, but he's definitely not born in 1972. The grand final should be a best of 7, and I don't think there is an advantage. I think it's just a 0-0 start, best of 7. That's the way they did it. That's a lot of threes. His name is Max after all. Drops a little revelation. Was worried that he would miss it there. But he gets the links, keeps an eye on it, keeps the adepts at home for a little bit. Goes up to 3 bases. Second Oracle's on the production tab. And now I'm really wondering, what are we going to do after this, Max? Max is capable of switching it up. I am sure he's taking a very close look at that grand finals that Hero played against Serral, where Hero did catch Serral off guard a few times. With that very early probe going to the other side of the map, he has made this defense now a tiny bit harder for Serral. Serral obviously doesn't just have to worry about the main and natural, but especially the third. Let's see Adept Shade finish up, and I don't hate it. Serral did not expect it by the looks of it, was distracted by the Oracle. And the Adepts shine. How much did this Oracle get? Just 1 drone. No, the Queen's not in the best spot yet. A big start for the Prince of Denmark, guys. He wants another one. Ooh, misclick nerfs. Tiny bit nervous there, I think. Could have killed that. But I guess even the Prince has some shaky hands. Man, these Oracles, guys. What a game for Max. As Serral there tried to morph one of the drones into a Spore Crawler. They kind of blocked each other. And that allowed this Oracle to get the hat trick. Mega start. A mega start for our Protoss player from PSISTORM. There are a lot of Zerg streamers out there that would leave the game now. But that's on the ladder, guys. That's when they're just vibing, listening to some music, having a good time. And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to play a game like this. If I lose 9 drones and I don't even kill one of the Oracles, I'm out of here. Don't be weird, Red Scorpion. Just add sort of next time. There is a Ricky rule. That is how the pro gamers call it. A lot of the Zergs in Europe are good friends of Sort of. And Sort of has been streaming quite a bit early morning. He's living in Korea. And Sort of apparently leaves a lot of games. If he loses like 5 drones before minute 5, he's out of there. And Lambo, Laser, and Reynor love it. And they call it the Ricky rule. And this is just all MaxPax, guys. And that's kind of how this matchup can be. Yes, it can be very snowbally for a Zerg, like we saw last game. Where if the Zerg is just richer and, you know, they have more bases, they can throw away wave after wave of Baneling, they're going to run away with it. And it looks unfair, but now the tables are kind of turned. And now it feels that everywhere MaxPax goes, he will find damage. Both of our game is supply blocked. 85 out of 85, 90 something out of 90 something. By the way, I can't believe that AC Milan, just after I made fun of them, managed to score 3 goals in the last 6 minutes. That's a good thing, though. They really don't need Santiago. Leave our boy alone. Yeah, they heard me. They don't need Santiago. He can stay. That's a lot of links getting on top of a battery. Batteries are tankier these days than in the past. We don't have overcharge anymore, but the battery did get an HP buff. And when I read that at first, I was like, yeah, whatever. But it actually made such a big difference. Against some Zerglings getting on top of it, or Stalker pressure early game in PvP. It is not my logo, Alex. It's a Basilisk logo. The spinning dice, this one and the one above the production tab, are a part of the Basilisk overlay. You can obviously always change it, but I've had it for a while. It's a lot of links over here by Serral, but Stasis Scrappy's at the bottom at the top. I think maybe the one at the top, that spinning die, could get changed, because people get very confused over it. MaxPax, so much confidence. You would think it's a little bit scary to be this deep in enemy territory with potential Zerglings surrounding you from different angles. He's gonna blink to the low ground, but +1 melee Zerglings don't mess around. MaxPax cannot blink here for a split second. 1 Oracle's on hold position. Max sitting on a lot of money here, making life I think a tiny bit harder than what it has to be. Does manage to successfully blink to the high ground in the end. I don't know how he survived all of that. He lost 8 Stalkers. I would have lost 18. And I think any lesser man would have lost a whole lot more than 8. Sick hold by Serral though. Great link movement. First with the counter, then swinging them back in. Buying some time for all the links to unfreeze. Getting 8 Stalkers is good. I still think Serral's in trouble. I still think Max, especially if he starts spending his money, is in a really good position. But that was pretty awesome for Serral. Dare I say we have a game? Yeah. It's definitely not over yet. But I don't think anybody said it was over. But it was painful for Serral. But that's why you don't have to leave every single ladder game, guys, where you lose a couple workers. But Serral is still in a spot where if one thing goes terribly wrong for him, he is in all sorts of trouble. And the economy is getting there. But we're definitely not as rich yet as we were last game. We have 89 drones perfectly spread over 5-6 bases. They're flying. The Zealots will keep the Banelings at bay. There are a couple Banelings here in the mix. Can they connect with any of the probes? No, this is not a good enough army for Serral. If Serral is just looking for some worker damage, it's alright. He lost a lot there, no? If it's just to scare Max and keeping at home and buy some time for Hive to come online and maybe we can get lurkers. If you look at it from that angle, maybe this was okay, but overall, we can all agree, I think, that Serral did not really get what he was looking for there. And he is just not that rich. So, these kind of little pokes, these little attempts, they are very costly. Just like MaxPax was in the previous game, Yona is a warrior, and he's not gonna leave early because things don't go his way, but he is in trouble. There are Archons in the mix now. +2 is done for the Stalkers. The Oracle could get picked off here. Getting an Oracle. Oh, what a storm. What a storm. Serral is getting stormed into oblivion. And honestly, Max have may very well just stormed himself straight into game 3 of the lower bracket. There were a lot of links and a lot of Banes going down. Ay, ay, ay. He made it look like he was not paying attention. And then he moved everything away in time. And he dropped some perfect storms. There's a little army in the bottom right side to put some pressure on the 3 o'clock base of Serral. Serral left a few links behind, but there are Archons in the mix. I don't think this army of Serral is good enough here against this many Zealots and 2 Archons. This is a great little army for MaxPax to put some pressure on this base. It feels risky, but it's working out over here. Are we paying attention? Of course he's paying attention. Oh, look at that Archon! It's in stasis trap Jill, surrounded by links and Banes that can't attack him. In the end, Serral's pressed some units to the bottom right, but it is just not good enough. In game 1, all Serral. In game 2, all Max. I'm wondering, I think most people would prefer a Serral Clam Grand Finals, even though seeing MaxPax in the Grand Finals is very exciting. Seeing a Protoss win a big online cup would be very exciting, but then people would say that you know, it was not premier enough for it to count. I think Serral Clem has the potential to go longer. But MaxPax and Serral can also, I don't know. I think it's always fine, right? I don't think there is a bad final. I think maybe for viewership and stories, it'd be a TVZ grand final. But I don't think it really matters. I think everyone will be happy regardless. Yo, Geert, hartstikke bedankt for the 60 months. Geert is a big Feyenoord fan. Did you go to the game last week, Geert? Were you in the stadium? It looked like it was one of the most magical nights in a while. Do you have any info about Hellraiser? Yeah, Hellraiser has actually recently been playing a little bit, I see. Obviously did not play for a long time because he was in a bad area and he had a lot of other things to worry about. But he recently has been playing some games. And I think Skillis is still in contact with him as well. I was never that close with Hellraiser, not before, not after. But he's okay. If that's what you're wondering about, he's okay. What happened to the StarCraft AI? They stopped developing that a long time ago. If you're talking about Google DeepMind, they did us a little dirty. Blizzard had a lot of hopes and dreams of making really cool events happen and putting StarCraft in the limelight. And then right when those final plans were made and we were going to have a big event that would have potentially been world news, not just gaming news, right, but news and an event so cool that it would transcend gaming. Google was like, nah, we're good. And everybody's like, what? And Google's like, what? And then they left. That was not on Blizzard, TK. Blizzard did everything they could there. That was not on Blizzard, mate. That was on Google and DeepMind. Blizzard did whatever they could to make that event happen. Now, I don't think that Blizzard is the company that it once upon a time was. Obviously, they've made a million mistakes over the last 10 years. But that one falling through, that project stopping, was not on Blizzard. I'd like to tease them and make fun of them as much as the next guy, but they... I know how that all went, and there is no blame for Blizzard in that one. But at least I got to visit the Google DeepMind offices back then in London. I got to see King's Cross. I made a little site visit to Hogwarts. One of my very few trips to England. So I got to hang out with Mapu and Artosis and a whole bunch of very smart people. So I still had some fun. Mana was there, of course. But well, I would have loved more.
Round 3. Fight.
In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who is once more sending one of his very first probes to the other side of the map. He has definitely learned from that no scouting life that did not work out for him. This is MaxPax. Bottom left side of El Dorado, we are looking at the main base of the man who has gone for an earlier pool. Not the earliest of pools, but similar to game 1. This is Serral. I think this is a map where getting eBay blocked, or actually not eBay blocked, getting pylon blocked really does sting. Serral has been hiding his drone. Now MaxPax is kind of left, and that is going to allow Serral to still get the natural. Would have been worth it for Max guys to temporarily build a pylon here. And then check here and see if there's something, then go back into the main base. But getting a hatch block off on El Dorado is actually really big. This would force the Zerg to expand so far away, and it really does slow their economy down. Speaking of StarCraft AI, I hope they pull the plug on the Shark bot, mate. Was that a year and a couple months ago? Was that 2 years? No, it was just a year, right? Just a year and a few months ago. I think I did that right before Christmas 2023. Try to help out some of these passionate AI nerds that love StarCraft. They're like, Roddy, you can talk to the bot. Don't worry, it likes banter. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me tell you, that bot did not like banter. Yeah. You know, even a lot of the pros that saw that, they thought this was the funniest thing that has ever happened on my stream. They apparently started playing it during their little holiday together, and they watched the video like 4 times a day. They all thought it was really, really funny. Let's just say that things did not go according to plan. It's just sometimes, guys, you don't know what you're getting. And if you're dealing with an AI bot that learns from the internet, Twitter, Reddit, 4chan, you never know how it's going to talk to you. And I had a little panic attack in the way that that bot was talking to me, but we survived. I felt mostly really bad for the... Like, I think the guy who made the bot and who told me, he's like, yeah, you can interact with him. He felt so bad. And I was like, mate, it's okay. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to get you in trouble. I was like, I don't get in trouble for these things. I was like, this is clearly not what I wanted or what I was looking for. I'm not joking about it. I was like, it's fine. I was like, you have nothing to worry about. Yeah. On the moment, I had a little panic attack, but I was like, you know, this is not my fault. We've got a couple of adepts picking off a creep tumor as the Serral has decided to expand towards the bottom here on El Dorado. Yeah, all those guys are very nice. Like, there's a lot of very passionate people in the StarCraft 2 scene, and they're passionate about different things. Like, I am mostly passionate just about either playing a bit myself or watching 1v1 live StarCraft. But you've got people that really live for 2v2, 3v3, AI, developing minigames, co-op. And I think that's kind of cool. I feel like we've got a lot of very cool little subsections in one big scene. That those people are passionate and very. In the end, I think everybody will always love watching a Serral MaxPax or Serral Clem. And you also have people that are very passionate about different things that are related to SC. Quite a few drones dying, guys. I guess it was the 2 adepts that shaded into the natural as we took a little look at the Zerglings on the other side of the map. 3 drones is acceptable, but Serral obviously does not want to find himself in a position where he ends up losing 9 or 10 drones. Yeah, you know, that happens quite often, Flusili, when you open up Reddit and then somebody's like, hey, does anybody else think like the behavior of men in this certain scene does not really add up with the lore? And I open Reddit, I'm like, wow. I was looking for the next guy to complain about Colossus being a little bit too good or not good enough, and then somebody is like analyzing the hand movement of Manx. He's like, you know, chapter 7, season 3, I feel like he was smiling, and shouldn't he have been like very upset instead? I'm like, well, these guys know a lot. Like the red t-shirt guy at BlizzCon, you know, like, where did these guys come from? Then they asked me, like, what? I was like, I don't even know who the DT is, man. Like, I think it's 02, but I could be wrong. Could be Alarak. What do I know? Oracle activates Pulsar Beam, kills a drone. Just a single drone. Serral is long distance mining, not just all these mineral patches, but now also here from the gold. This is very risky, because this is obviously an area that's not protected by the Queen's Yona. That's 4 more workers going down. Starting to get a tiny bit worried, guys, for Serral in this series. Obviously, MaxPax won the first 2 encounters in the last 2 weeks, but Serral won the last 2, and those were the most important ones. Those were the ones for most money, and perhaps the most convincing ones too. And I'm starting to get a tiny bit concerned for Serral in this lower bracket. Best of 5 grand finals, as he's making a few too many beauty errors, and Max is doing a really good job in punishing him. I don't just need a lore refresher, mate. I need a whole starting curse, because I know nothing about the lore. I've just never cared. I played 7 years of Warcraft 3 every day of my life, and I never even finished the campaign. And I know that's weird, and I know it's blasphemy, and you guys will tell me that it's good, but I just have so much more fun playing 1v1 or 2v2 or a free-for-all. That's the kind of gamer I am. We're all different gamers. And if I play the campaign, it feels like homework to me, like I'm not really enjoying myself. I would do it if it was my job, but out of fun, I just never do it. Couple of the links surrounding the adepts here in the top right. Those 2 adepts do get picked off. It is a Locust, a Swarmhost opening here in the end for Serral, but the suppliers at this point for like a Roach Swarmos game, it's really not that impressive. Max is pumping out 2 Immortals at a time. Keeping this Void Ray alive, by the way, is incredibly important for Max. Because Void Rays are so useful in gunning down a Nidus or getting some extra damage off on Swarmos. I wonder, by the way, if there is a world where making a couple of random Phoenix here would be good to shoot down the Locusts in the sky. This is a very weird thing to say, because no pro has ever done it. But I have been in a lot of scenarios myself where if I had a Stargate, Phoenixes are incredibly good against the flying Locust. And if you have the tech and if you got the money, like maybe having 3-4 Phoenix to gun down some Locusts is not that bad. Nobody has ever tried. They'll probably say no, that 300 gas is better spent on 2 more High Templars, but if we already have the gas to begin with. The first wave of Locusts not getting a whole lot done. Good Warp Prism Micro, good Oracle Pulsar Beam. Serral needs more, even if the supply right now is heavily in favor of Serral. Serral needs more than what he's currently getting. A square hole, are you guys talking about that one video? The rectangle, in which hole does the rectangle go? The square hole. That's a funny video. The bridge, everything goes into the square. I like that one. Seems like a nice lady. Yeah. She loves it though. She embraces that video. Thinks she posts it every year. She created a masterpiece. Serral finds a little bit, but still nowhere near I think he's really looking for. Getting a cancel on the base is nice, but this is not a similar scenario to that Stalker game in Game 1 where MaxPax either needed to win it immediately or needed to desperately get his hands on a 4th base. If we're working around with 8 Immortals, 2 Archons and 5 High Templars and we're playing against Roach Hydra Swarmos, there is not a worry in the world here for Max. Max knows that. That one Void Ray keeps on doing his thing. The Archons have now killed a 2nd Queen, so that is nice as well. Doing a really good job in keeping the creep away. These Roaches should not be able to accomplish anything. Can the Locust accomplish something? Nope. It is the Archon. Archon Warp Prism movement by MaxPax here has been really good. He's making these Locusts look silly. And nobody makes the Locusts look silly. Serral does find a little opening with those Roaches, pulling that army out of position. Allows himself to once more get a cancel on the 4th. Quite frankly, guys, I just don't think it's anywhere good enough at the moment. I think Serral needs bigger victories than a cancel on the 4th. Now that's starting to look like something. Getting 2 Archons for basically nothing. Everybody, when am I coming to South America? You guys invite me. I got invited to go to Brazil either 2 or 3 times. Maybe more even. I did 2 IEMs. WESG. Either 3 or 4 times. And I always came, mate. I always loved it. I think Brazil is really cool. How does Serral fight this army of 12 Immortals and 6 High Templars? I don't know. Can the Locusts finally have a real impact? Seems like they got a Archon there, as MaxPax is obviously a little bit focused on his army on the other side of the map. Max doesn't need to get up the ramp here in the natural. He could just kill this hatch and then, yeah, start pushing creep back here. This feels that MaxPax's army is so freaking good. We were talking about Broodlords earlier. This would be a pretty goated Broodlord game, but Serral obviously does not have a Broodlord economy. Doesn't even have a Spire, so how the hell is he gonna get Broodlords? We need Locust and Lurkus to kill this many Immortals. 18 Hydros on the production tab. I'm just so concerned for Serral. It just feels that Serral's style was incredibly momentum based, but he's had no momentum. And that's kind of been MaxPax from the very beginning. Had a great read on the game, great Warp Prism movement, great pickups on those Archons over and over again. Double Robo Immortal spam. Serral's up in supply, but I can guarantee you that he does not feel very comfortable about this game. And neither do I about his chances. But he is Serral, and never count Serral out. But it's another moment, sorry Todd, don't hate me, where the supply does lie. And at this point, I think this game looks very good for Max. Oh, Serral, kill it. Okay, that's good. Getting a prison with a couple zealots inside of it is good. Defense in the main base is good. I'm starting to think that MaxPax made a big mistake not getting this hatch earlier. I guess in his mind it was just not there, guys. And that's why he was flirting around with this awkward little edge. And maybe he's like, oh, I've got Serral down to 3 bases. You know, I've killed this one as well. But no, this base was here. Now the Locusts are going to get on top of the 4th base of Max. And I don't think the shield battery can quite save it. The DPS of the Locusts is too damn high. Alright. Well. Starting to believe a little, guys, in Jonas' chances. I don't think Jonas quite there yet. His drone count is mega low. He's got no bank. But he... Oh! MaxPax. Yeah, now Max realized, like, wait a minute. If your real army is here, if it's no longer here. But if it's here, then you're probably trying to get this base. No. He's trying to get this base because he already had this one. Was that a turning point, guys? MaxPax not being aware of the fact that this base was here, being so close to it. I just thought he didn't care too much earlier because there were no drones anyway, but it's a little lifeline for Serral. Oh, no cancel, Yona matey. A little bit surprising to see no cancel there. Obviously there is no ping involved in these games. We are playing on the European server. A couple of Immortals are running into a Hydra Ravager army, but the stasis trap will save the units. Can the Nidus in the main base create some chaos? No. Oh, that's a very ambitious second Nidus. Guys, I think MaxPax can defend. He did it. Lurker count is 25. Is there a world where 25 Lurkers win a fight against 12 Immortals, 4 High Templars and a Mummy ship? I think there is. Yeah, the Void Ray has been goated. This has actually been the best Void Ray I've seen in a while. 18 kills on the hero Void Ray. Chaos right now, as Max probably did not expect Serral to move out with Swarmos, with Lurkers. Max says, mate, you're not supposed to be attacking me, I'm supposed to be attacking you. As he gets on top of this base, Serral is going to sacrifice it for now. Drops a Spire, but it's going to take a while before that Spire is done. As a few more big storms land, the Ravages explode. MaxPax in the end hits us with a tiny recall. That also means that this army cannot get recalled, but I don't think he needs to. I think he's just going to walk it home. There is very little anti-air in this squad of Serral. Now, that Tempest kind of sleeping on the job. It looks a little bit clumsy what MaxPax is doing here, but that's because he is a little bit clumsy. He's a tiny bit indecisive. Loses the Observer. MaxPax, who is uncertain of should I stay or should I go, and that tiny recall that he made it impossible to recall this big army. Now he's going to fly the mothership into the main base, and he's going to try to perhaps recall the big squad into the main of Serral. Oh, MaxiPaxi, mate, you've made this one look... it looked so good for you, and it looked so promising. But Max is now kind of killing himself by just not making any real decisions. I still think he's in an okay-ish spot, even though he's got no income. He's got a really good army. Every second that goes by right now is really good for Serral. Because Serral, 19, he's got Vipers too. Oh, Max. Oh, Max, with every additional Corruptor that comes out is just mega for Serral. Because with how bad MaxPax's economy is right now, or basically non-existent, all that Serral needs to do is get a decent fight and hope that his reinforcements can clean it up. Or that we just have a bit of a wash. The nail-biting third game here on El Dorado, a game that looked so good for MaxPax for a while. But it is the indecisiveness that is kind of killing him. Turning around back, forth. We've seen it in the bottom left, we've seen it in the center, we've seen it in that defense. MaxPax does still have a powerful army, so we really cannot count him out yet, but the longer this goes on, the worse it gets. Serral is getting so many Corruptors. 5 now, it's gonna be 7 soon. He's got Vipers. Oh, Max. I feel Max has been walking around, in Dutch we would say, like a chicken without its head, for the last 3 minutes. Just has no idea where he's at, has no idea where he's going. In the end, we do get in the range of a couple of the units of Serral, and I still don't think MaxPax is dead yet. I would never say that I don't think this Protoss army can win, because it absolutely can win. But he is on the clock. At this point, MaxPax is on the clock. And he's going to need some either good feedbacks on the Vipers or some good storms. The lurker count is 23. In English, you guys say like a headless chicken. I think a chicken without its head sounds way better, to be fair. Honestly, those English nerds could learn a thing or two about the Dutch. Just take our sayings and translate them literally. More revelations landing. Tempest doing their thing. Obviously, a single abduct would go a long way. And Serral at this point says, you know what? Why don't I just keep attacking you? Now MaxPax does hit us with the recall. Serral should be able to save most of the units. Serral put him back in the Nidus. Every single unit you can say. Oh, Max obviously should have immediately killed the Nidus there rather than go for the lurkers. But he didn't recall everything. Not great for Max. No, it has. Well, it's a close game. In a weird way, it is a close game. But it all comes down to the next few fights. Can the Corruptors get an easy cleanup here on all the Tempests? Can the Archons be bigger than any Archon has ever been? The Storms are not bad. A lot of Tempests survive. Two base Protoss might still win this. It's not even really two base Protoss, right? Because the main is nothing. It's long distance mining. It's my specialty. I know more about long distance mining than anybody else out there. It is two bases saturated for the Zerg, and it's long distance mining for the Protoss. Who do we take? Honestly, might take the Protoss. Corruptor count is only 4. Hydra count is 18, but there's still a lot of storms. Not as many as before, though. Serral continues to drop Nidus networks, continues to harass MaxPax, but, you know, Tempests don't work like carriers. They don't need interceptors. Max, you gotta go, my friend. Max, you really gotta go. I don't know what we're doing here. Maybe he's afraid of getting eliminated, but you still have the main Nexus. He's had a Void Ray here that killed the Nidus. Oh, now Hydra's come out. Not the hero Void Ray. Ah, that's a sick move by Serral, unloading all the Hydras out of the Nidus. MaxPax had enough of it. He has recalled his army into the main base of Serral. Can Serral eliminate MaxPax? Is there a world where he just straight up eliminates him? Ooh, the Nidus could die here, by the way. The main entrance of the Nidus is going to die, so now make sure you don't lose the other end. What on earth is this game on El Dorado? There are 5 Immortals on the low ground. The Hydras can absolutely win that fight. We use Hydra launch. No, they were actually on move command there for a split second. The probes get pulled, but MaxPax does not believe this goes his way anymore. GG gets called as we took a look at that fight. What is happening over here then? No observer? There's a great spy here. All right. Game 4. Serral somehow finds a way to win a game on El Dorado. That really didn't look all that good for him for the longest time. Max was about to go down to 0 probes. Max was about to be in risk of eliminated if he would lose all his production facilities. So he'd probably have to recall home again. Maybe he didn't have a recall. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Ah, poor Max. He was in such a good spot for a long time, and it felt like he was doing everything right. Until he maybe didn't kill that hatchery at 9 o'clock that later on became one of the mining bases of Serral. He was standing next to it, right? It was wide open. I think he could have killed that. Maybe when he didn't, he got a bit flustered when he found out it was there later on. And the Swarmos non-stop were big. I don't think it's just the Swarmos, because MaxPax had an answer for the Swarmos. It's when Serral started combining the Swarmos with non-stop Nidus attacks and lurkers, and just when you think like, oh, use the Void Ray, an extra Hydra show up. Serral played really good there from an incredibly difficult position for a long time. I still think MaxPax threw that a little bit. At more than one moment. My boy Benny! Hello, Ben. I stopped by this morning, mate. But you were on your timer. Are you playing a tournament today, Ben? Taking a little breaky? I've been stopping by a lot, Ben. You know I'm there. I want to talk to you about something. I can't do it here. It's about you, Ben. I am worried.
Round 4. Fight.
I have to talk to my boy. Maybe I get to see you though this summer, right? We go to Poland together. Whoop, whoop. That'd be fun. Bottom left side of Ultra Love, we are looking at the main base of PSISTORM Gaming's very own MaxPax. The man who won the first of 2 series that these 2 guys played against each other in the last 2 weeks. Lost the number 3 and 4. Should have been in the lead here, but he's not. Because this man, truly, never gives up, never says die. The Finnish phenom, it is Serral. Demo belongs to the Age of Empires now. Ben belongs to all of us. I am Ben, you are Ben, Ben is Ben. He's always with us, in spirit. No, I mean, I don't get to see him a whole lot, Ian Blue, but I feel him around me. Kind of know when he's watching too. Huh. I know. But he's also stuck in a Swedish forest. And our boy Benny cannot drive a car legally. I don't think my boy Ben has a car. So honestly, kind of feels to me that he's with me in spirit. Because as far as I know, he became an orc or a night elf. The trees have him now. But he's still there somewhere. He's around us. Ben is like a little wisp spinning around a tree somewhere in Sweden. No, that's not true, Megalomania. Ben never got his license suspended because he never had one. Ben has just grown up as a gamer. Gamers game, they stay at home, they play games, they play more games, and they move into a gaming house, and then from one gaming house they go to the next gaming house, to the next gaming house. They travel around the world, and eventually they're 35 and they're like, man, I don't know how to drive a car. Ben is not alone. Our good friend Johan Merlo also does not drive a car. But Todd doesn't live in the forest. Todd lives in Vienna. So I'm not too worried about Todd. Todd can still take a bus. But I've seen where Ben lives, guys. And honestly, the forest has him. He's always been a night elf player deep down inside. I agree with that, Neri, but it can also be very expensive. Like, I know there are some places around the world where it's very easy to get your driver's license, but in some of these European countries, including the Netherlands, getting your license is really expensive. Americans often don't think about that. I got my American driver's license when I was living in California, and altogether it cost me like $250 or something. I was like, alligator forehead. If you're like 18 or 19, having 2.5 or 3,000 euros to get your driver's license, not everyone has that. And I don't think it's that easy to say, like, everyone should have one. Like, that's a lot of money. In Sweden it's expensive. In Germany it's really expensive. In the Netherlands it's expensive. So, I don't think we can be that judgmental. I do think if you have the funds and you have the time and you have the resources, you should probably learn how to drive a car, because it could come in very handy. Even if you don't want to have a car yourself, it's nice, but not everybody has that kind of money laying around. I got fortunate that my parents paid it for me when I was 18. They wouldn't buy me a computer, but they did buy my driver's license. I was like, that's fair enough. Thank you, mommy. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten it back then. Oh. And then this is a long time ago, right? Because obviously when I was 18. We're talking the year 2005, 2006. But I think even for me back then it was around 2,000 euros altogether. 21, 22. Huh? Oracle doing its thing, flying in circles, activating Pulsar Beam. It is 4 drones so far, 4 MaxPax, with this tournament live on the line. Max is, I don't want to say he's been looking shaky throughout this series, because he's had some really good moments, and he's playing against Literally Serral, the very best player to ever do it, to ever touch this game. So it's so unfair to say like, oh, he's down 1-2 in a close series. And I feel like it's not his best, but it does seem that in some of these big moments, deep into tournaments that are a little bit bigger than the regular one-day events for a couple hundred buckies, the pressure does get to Max a little bit here and there. You pay 25 bucks in Arizona, USA. Yeah, I believe it. Then I think there is no excuse, by the way, and I think in America it's also a little bit more needed, right, than in a lot of European cities. Anyway, enough about driver's license. TLDR. Thank you, Ben, for stopping by. We love you. Void Ray with prismatic alignment is putting some pressure on the fort. I'd be surprised if that Void Ray is going to be able to get a cancel, but yeah, the Queens were a little bit busy. It's almost like the Overseer is really taking one here for the team, like a proper bro. MaxPax microing his Stalkers, activating Stasis Trap. There's very little creep to work with here for Serral. Max looking good here in Game 4. Looking good is an understatement. The man is looking close to perfect. Has not lost a unit yet. Continues to not lose a unit. Void Ray is now flying over Creep though. I'm not exactly sure where the Void is going. Trying to maybe work on a Queen, an Extractor. I think that was an accident. What a game so far by Max. Has still not lost a unit. Serral is going to try to jump on the Stalkers. MaxPax does finally end up losing his very first unit. A single Stalker going down. Still doing a really good job though. +1 is done. He's right on the edge of Creep. There's no Infestation Pit. No Infestors obviously to randomly land a fungal. Serral's going to have to get something very clever going. I don't exactly know how. What? Why? Okay. Dropper Lords apparently. Well, I like it. Serral needs to do something that gets him to breathe a little. Get MaxPax off his front door. Get off my lawn. Make something happen on the other side of the map so Serral can just do his thing and can put himself in the position that he wants to be in. Do the trap units in a stasis trap die if the rocks fall on top of him? I think so, yes. I think that's how it works. That is not an interaction that I see very often, mate, but yes, rocks can kill units that are stuck. It looks a little bit weird and clumsy, but that is a thing. Shout out to the almighty Soul. I appreciate you, mate. As the Stalkers find us around second stasis trap. So now we could maybe kill the cooling tower. Serral is just going to be very, very aggressive. Those Dropper Lords, I don't know where exactly they are. Maybe on the left side somewhere. I don't see this work, man. The Stalker count is so high. There are a decent amount of High Templars. There's a couple cannons. There's a shield battery. Contaminate is being used on the Templar Archives, but Storm is already done. Serral already saw that, obviously. Experienced that the hard way. So Serral is going to have to evacuate this mission. Abort! Jason Hayes comes from the sky and says total mission failure. And Serral needs a different plan. Plan B. We're gonna drop 16 links into the main base of MaxPax and hope we survive. Game 5 hype, starting to look like it. Nice stasis trappy in the back. Couple of corrosive balls. They don't quite connect the way they wanted to. What can the links do, guys? Well, there are Zealots and a Stalker here. MaxPax already has some static defense in the natural. I want to say there's no way that Serral wins this, but Serral always finds a way. So I'll hold off it. Maybe. Every great Zur comeback story starts with sniping a War Prism and a great surround on Creep. This could be that great surround on Creep, as Serral has distracted MaxPax a little bit. The Archon dies. The other 3 Archons are morphing, but while they're morphing, they cannot move. Ooh, Serral misclicked, and he was shooting at his own roaches there, guys. Obviously, he's in trouble anyway, don't get me wrong, but it is painful. Roaches and Ravages don't attack very quick, and Serral was actually killing his own unit there. Should the best of 5 or 5 really come down to the final map? Yeah. Individual skill matters. I think that should be the slogan of 2025, and these gamers are so freaking evenly matched. And there are going to be days where it's all MaxPax, there are going to be days where it's all Serral. And sometimes it comes down to the wire. Serral is gonna try to buy enough time to eventually get Hive Tech going, but I really don't see it. These queens are left stranded. Creep is disappearing. MaxPax blinks forward, gets them too. 16 Stalkers, an Immortal, 15 Zealots, and 5 High Templars. The Storms once more make justice rain from above, and it's starting to look better than ever before for Max. The 5th time in 2 weeks that these two guys play a best of 5 or a best of 7, and it is going to distance. Yeah, guys, we really have to run some ads. I'm sorry. I know it's very annoying, but it either has to happen now or we're out of pauses, and it could happen in the middle of Game 5, and then you guys will be even more annoyed. So we're doing it now. Game 5 is coming up. Great games. They have been great games. What's the record these past weeks? Serral won 2 series. MaxPax won 2 series. MaxPax, I want to say, won 8 maps. And, well, now it's more. I don't know. It's very close, but Serral won like 2 maps more. Up to this point, 2 maps more. Who won? It's all tied up. Is Broodling a good counter to Stasis? Yeah, if you have Broodlords, it is. Thank you, Teddy Yep, for the prime. Game 5. The 2 guys that did not play a best of anything against each other for 14 months and have now played 5 in 2 weeks. So you guys want exact details? I believe it was 3-1 Max, 3-2 Max, 4-1 Serral, 3-1 Serral coming into today. I think those were the exact scores, but let's take a little look at it. Beautiful LiuLi. We had to wait 14 months to see them then play 5 times in 2 weeks. 3-1 Max, 3-2 Max, 4-1 Serral, 3-1 Serral. So overall, I guess Serral won 2 maps more coming into this one. But now we're all tied up. And in the end, one guy could win more maps, but the other guy could have still won more series. Haven't we seen that before, guys? Isn't that a thing? Oh, that is absolutely a thing.
Final round. Fight!
Here we go. Bottom right side of Whispers of Gold. We are looking at the main base of PSISTORM Gaming's very own MaxPax. He's like, hey, if it's Clem waiting in the grand final, that's my boy. That is my date. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of our Masters Colosseum 8 champ wants to win the LiuLi Cup. For the first time in his career, he did not participate in the first version because he was still enrolled in the military back then. But that was like 6 months ago. This is BASILISK Serral. Serral did have to expand elsewhere, which I'm sure he's not very happy with. Especially not against a man like MaxPax, who is so incredibly good in finding damage with those adepts, with his oracles. I'd be very surprised to see a Void Ray first here. I think MaxPax's oracle movement is the best in the business. And especially if Serral's not able to take his expand and he's forced to expand here. That means that there is a large area where oracles can activate Pulsar Beam and find some victims. How much money for the tournament winner? I believe the winner gets around 2.6k for this one. If you guys do !B or !bracket, you get a link to the Wikipedia page. You can read all of that stuff yourself. There will always be a prize pool distribution there, previous results, etc. Is there a way that MaxPax skips scouting? No. I don't think he would have done that. It just has not gone very well for him the last few times he went for that. Would be wild now if Serral does something crazy like a lot of Zergs on the ladder. If you would hatch block them and they are forced to expand here, they'll say F it. You know, if my hatch is here and your Wolof is there, you don't want me to play a nice little macro game. They descended with some random Ling Roach Ravager, Ling Queen, Ling Bane, Pure Ling. Doing that in game 5, deep into a big online event. It's just so not like Serral. Rogue would have probably done it. Rogue at this point would be like, oh, this is great. I can Ling Bane all in you. But that is not what Yona does. Can definitely go for something like Mass Roach Ravager though, of 66 drones or even less, like 55 plus 1. We've seen a couple of these Roach Ravager builds be very, very spicy. MaxPax is adept, the shade finishes up. I don't think that was on purpose. That's a big deal, because adepts, they grow in strength, kind of like the Phoenix. One adept needs 2 shots to kill a drone. Serral is good enough to save drones that are being attacked. So losing one adept this early on is actually a really big deal. Oh, Max. I think there will be a break. How long will the break be? I can't say. But I think the winner of this series probably gets bare minimum 15 minutes, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. It comes down to the guy from the lower bracket. Whenever he's ready to continue, I think they will just continue. It could be a long one, it could be a short one, I don't know. Oh, Max, oh my, oh, Max waited till the absolute last second to cancel the Nexus. And right when he didn't have to cancel the Nexus anymore, he did cancel it. That's obviously a lot better, guys, than losing it and losing 400 minerals. But I don't think he had to cancel it anymore. Couple of the drones are dying, though, as the Queens were chasing that first Oracle. So MaxPax is now finding at least a little something. That's absolutely what he needed. Because losing that one adept was bad. Getting a tiny cancel on your Nexus is also annoying, but it doesn't hurt you that bad. Twilight Council, guys, going down. Deep into the natural. Double Oracle into Twilight. Serral fires up 11 drones. Resonating Glaive gets fired up for Max. Uh-oh. Guys, no Baneling Nest yet. No Roachborn. Serral drops the Roachborn now. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. I want to say it's on the later side, but might still be okay. Might still be okay. I am worried though for Serral. I'm very worried. He's going up to 61 drones. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and follow some first-person view of Serral. Just to show you guys what the great Jonas Sitala is looking at. He has no idea. He fires up a lair. He's going up to 4 bases. Oh man, is this MaxPax's moment, guys? Is it MaxPax who's going to the grand finals of the LiuLi Cup? Serral is still building drones. Ay caramba! And I think with that little scout, he should know. Oh my god, I think Jonas is in so much trouble. He sees 2 adepts here. That doesn't tell him a whole lot. He is still building drones. That's very weird of MaxPax, who's going Resonating Glaive Adept, to lose 2 adepts. But here come all the other adepts. That is the very first time Serral sees it. These are the first roaches. I think the adepts block the evolution chamber. Oh my. It is a drone massacre. And it seems like the rematch between Serral and Clem will not be happening, as it may not be a Monday. But it is starting to look like the grand finals will go between MaxPax and Clem. The grand finals that we have seen time and time again. Unless Serral pulls off the greatest hold that the world has ever seen. And he can clean up these adepts. Like, it shouldn't be game over immediately, but it's gonna be so much damage. It is always going to be so much damage. Not even Serral, right? I wanna say not even Serral. I mean, roaches are cheap. If you look at it, the bright side of life, guys, roaches are very cheap. Serral lost 29 drones. That is an insane number. Might even become 30. It is 30. Make it 31? No. He goes for +1 melee here. The good thing for Serral, though, guys, is that he had so many drones that, in a weird way, I want to say he still has a shot. No, he shouldn't. And he's obviously in a lot of trouble. But because he had so many drones to begin with, he could also lose a lot of drones. Lost 37. That's an insane number, obviously. MaxPax is building a lot of probes. MaxPax does not have an immediate follow-up. 70 workers against 70 workers. One bad blink is all it takes for Max to still lose this game. It's almost like MaxPax refused to believe that the scenario could ever be that good. That he should make even more adepts, or that he should keep the adepts together and kill queens one by one, kill roaches one by one. Like, I'm sure that MaxPax, he's just looking for an opening. He's looking for drones. He finds drones. He's like, woohoo. If he would have made even more adepts, he probably just kills every single unit one by one and is straight up over. Now he's in a really good position, but he's still gonna have to work for it. Like, I would never win this game. Right here in MaxPax issues against Serral, with this kind of an army comp, I would never win this. 100 times out of 100 times I would lose, because I'm a baboon. But MaxPax is not. MaxPax knows obviously that he's in a good spot, and he's gonna do all the things that he's capable of doing. Good stasis trap, these revelations, and hopefully no bad blinks for him, for his sake. Serral does a good job with a couple of links, activating the stasis traps in the back. The link count is obviously nowhere near as high as Serral would love it to be, but he is starting to kill stalkers though. If Serral wins this, oh my god, I will never open Reddit again. I am opening up Reddit and I'm going to deactivate my account immediately. And I'm leaving the website forever. If Serral wins this game 5 after losing 37 drones, I'm done. Can somebody ban this Dugix guy? I don't know. Plenty of moderators in the chat. Snipe him with a laser. Damn. Good shot. Nice shot, Ian Blue.
One shot. One kill.
Out. Couple of storms land on the links. Serral obviously can't really properly engage his army. He is going to try to get a couple lurkers. Seismic Spines is halfway done. It is game 5 of a big online tournament. It is tournament live on the line. Oh yeah, MaxPax is no Roddy. He will not throw from a position like this. The queens are out of energy. Only the worst blink in history can bring Serral back in this game. At this point, it is not up to Serral. The only thing that Serral can do is make all the right choices like he always does, and he needs to hope that MaxPax has a serious meltdown, that MaxPax messes up in a way that he has never messed up before. Morphs all the High Templars into Archons, but our Protoss is so rich, he's in such a good spot. There are Zealots and Stalkers storming on top of the original natural Serral. This time, guys, it is Max. After the 5 encounters, Serral has still won 1 map more than MaxiPaxi. But MaxPax has won 3 out of the 5 series. I still think overall the distribution went good for Serral. As he won the Masters Colosseum, that was the bigger one. There was more prize money. Well, MaxPax winning 3 out of 5 is very impressive. Maybe he forgets detection. He's got 2 oracles. And find yourself someone in life that loves you like MaxPax loves his oracles. Because he's really good to them. Find yourself someone who looks at you the way that Max takes care of these babies. So he should not really find himself without detection anytime soon. Revelation lands first, Lurker dies, second Lurker dies, couple storms on the drones. It is MaxPax's world at this point, and he is just making certain that he doesn't throw. He doesn't have like the most invincible army ever, but he's got enough. He is rich. Storm after storm. It is MaxPax who makes it into the grand finals of the LiuLi Cup. Unfortunately for Serral, his run ends here. Serral was up 2-0 yesterday in that upper bracket final over Clem. Unfortunately got reverse swept, and in the end it is the Prince of Denmark who makes it into the grand finals. Another MaxPax versus Clem. Shall we play it, guys? Turn around. It's not even Monday, but it is not even Monday, but we can play it. Why not? Yeah, why not? If it's we'll start the prediction first. Ooh. Some MaxPax believers got rich. 2.6 million channel points against 940k. The MaxPax believers get rewarded this time. MaxiPaxi makes it into the grand finals.